Welcome back, everyone. The popular dark horse pick for many NBA fans during the 2022-23 NBA season is without a doubt the New Orleans Pelicans, and in large part due to the return of Zion Williamson. The Pelicans put themselves on the map by making the playoffs, and then putting up a better-than-expected fight against Phoenix, but many are now hoping and even expecting them to make it further this time around. They have come a long way from their first year without Anthony Davis, and they may finally be turning the corner, which could potentially mean trouble for the Western Conference. The difference between the number 1 and number 8 seed is smaller than it ever has been, and really for both the Western and Eastern Conference too. The Pelicans might not be projected by many to finish within the top 5, but that does not mean anyone is really doubting them, nor their ability to make a playoff run if healthy. Pretty much everyone has been eagerly awaiting to see how they look, and specifically with a healthy Zion Williamson, who will now be surrounded by more talent than ever before. And although we have seen plenty of flashes from the Pelicans with him on the court, they have never looked like a real threat until last season, which happened to come without Zion on the court. And that really showed how much better of a team they built, along with how close they are to becoming a top-tier team. They had plenty of individual talent during Zion's second year, but it did not really fit together. They had Steven Adams clogging the paint, very little three-point shooting to put around Zion and Brandon Ingram, and not near enough wing defense either. But looking at their team now, they have covered every area. They upgraded by trading for Jonas Valanciunas, CJ McCollum, and Larry Nance Jr., and then drafted incredibly well too. It's not only about how they drafted though, but how they developed their young talent. Herb Jones became an immediate and impactful member of their rotation, and arguably one of the best wing defenders in the NBA already. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how they found him in the second round. It's not common for a second round pick to be that impactful, let alone during their rookie year. And it's not like they missed on their first round pick either. Prior to drafting Herb Jones, they drafted Trey Murphy III, who could quite possibly become even better than Herb Jones. And I would be remiss not to mention Grand Theft Alvarado, which in my opinion is without a doubt the best nickname in the entire league. All joking aside here though, Jose Alvarado is yet another rookie who made an impact on their team, and has already built a reputation as a pest. It should not be hard to tell why either. The guy averaged over 3 steals per game when looking at per 36-minute average, and he developed one of the most unique and funny ways of doing it during inbound plays too. Overall though, they have a very well-rounded team, and given how young they are, it's only fair to believe they'll continue to get better naturally, which again could mean trouble for the Western Conference, both in the short-term and long-term future too. And that is what the Brooklyn Nets found out in game number 1. They were looking to make a statement of their own, and yet they found themselves on the wrong side of one. They looked to be completely outmatched during a majority of the game, and I don't think anyone saw it coming either. The Brooklyn Nets are not a bad team. They might be trying to figure it out yet after a turbulent offseason, but no one expected them to get blown out by the Pelicans. Unfortunately for them though, that is what ended up happening, and it did not appear to be by accident either. The Pelicans dominated them across the board, and particularly in regard to grabbing boards, with them winning the rebound battle by a whopping 22 total rebounds. And there were 2 players in particular who gave them trouble, with those 2 being Jonas Valanciunas and Zion Williamson. Between them alone, they grabbed a total of 9 offensive rebounds, many of which directly led to points on the board. And that was something that many Pelican fans were hoping to see. We all know how good of a rebounder Valanciunas is, but then when you combine him with Zion and hardworking guys like Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and Larry Nance, that is when they can become dominant. It did not even look like a fair fight for most of the game either. Brooklyn was getting out-rebounded all game long, and it's not like they're a particularly bad rebounding team either. They were playing a bit small at times, but they still had Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton, and Day'Ron Sharpe play nearly 70 combined total minutes. And if that is an indication of what is to come, then the New Orleans Pelicans are going to be tough to stop, both in regard to rebounding and really their entire offense too. Like I referred to before, they have really transformed their team over the past 2 years, and definitely for the better. In regard to their starting lineup, it's pretty much the ideal formula for what you'd want around Zion Williamson. You have 4 players who can space the floor, with one of which being their center to draw the opposing big man away from the rim, 2 great scoring threats, and an entire lineup that is great at running the floor. I absolutely love what they did with this lineup, and it could allow Zion to be even better than he was before, which was already pretty darn good. In only his second year, he was able to put up 27 points per game, and that was within an offense that had below average to oftentimes even horrible floor spacing. And although he now has more players to share the ball with, he should theoretically be able to become even more effective on offense, and he will likely be able to do it a lot easier too, which we got a glimpse of during their season opener. Rather than having to plow his way through the lane on every play, he was getting shots at the rim by simply being the guy in the dunker spot. If the Pelicans are able to routinely make life easier on him, and not put such a heavy offensive burden on him like they did 2 years ago, then that will help him stay healthy. And that should be something that other teams are afraid of, as that would mean them being moved down lower within the Western Conference. To wrap everything up here though, the New Orleans Pelicans look dominant in game number 1, and if they are able to keep up the things that I talked about, then I would not be surprised if they finish even higher than many thought they would. What do you guys think though? Do you believe the Pelicans are ready to take that next step forward? And how much do you think Zion Williamson factors into that? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.